Hey guys, thanks for checking out Pet Startup 101. It's been a long few weeks. Sorry for the delay, sorry for all the apologies, but I just want to give you guys a quick update. We had a whole mess about switching from offices. We went from one office to another. We were in the same space for a very long time, and we had to move, and not because we wanted to, but you know, we had to. This is what happens when you don't own the property. And we found a few locations, but then every time it was getting close to getting the deal signed, these lease agreements were insane. These I guess it's been a long time since we've signed leases and agreed on certain things, but the things that these landlords were asking for was just insane. So one example, I'm not sure if this is normal. If it's normal, write it in the comments. But one landlord wanted us to basically have, Teo's smoking a lot, I believe, from the winter here in New York. It's really cold, but the smoke is just really, okay, it's gone. So yeah, so this landlord, he wanted us to sign a lease for 5 years. Every year the annual rate of the rent would go up 7%, which is a little high. I mean, it's typically 4 or 5%. My uncle, who has a printing shop, his annual increase is 3%. And with these recession-like days and, you know, all this crap that all these people are putting out there, not that recession is crap, but the recession jargon that's going out there in the world, and is making people fearful, I would think that the landlord would want us at a lower, higher rate, so then we can stay there longer. But okay, they wanted 7%. On top of that, they wanted an insane amount for water. We don't use water. We're an office. They wanted us to have a set amount of water paid every month. So basically, we would be paying water for the building, and we were just paying our portion because it was six other tenants, 6 other spaces. And he basically broke down the bill and just broke the annual bill, I believe, and he had us pay for the water equally. So maybe I could deal with the water. Then he insisted on us paying for maintenance of the property, various maintenance agreements that he already signed with pest control companies and other things, sprinkler inspection, all this, everything that would have to be done annually. He broke that down and added that on the lease as well. So we had to pay like $150 for water, $350 a month, $150 a month, $350 a month for monthly maintenance. We would get one parking spot in the back. We are not allowed to park in front because it would take away parking spots from retail, which is understandable. So it's no big deal for that. But one spot for an office is insane, because when you're renting an office, you have a secretary, you have employees that come in and out, and one spot and people not able to park in front is just, it's kind of hard, okay? It's not impossible, but it's hard. You can tell your employees, hey, park a few blocks away and walk every day. But, so you have that. Then you have the, he also wanted, what was it? A portion of the tax, our equal portion for the tax for the property. So the annual rate for the property is a certain amount, and he wanted another $300 a month from us to cover our portion of the taxable debt for the property that we don't own. And he just split it up amongst the tenants for them to pay. And then in each set of little addition to the monthly fees, he put that he can change it whenever he wanted. And then it was if something breaks, everyone's liable. So if something breaks, and he gets to choose, there's no discussion about who gets to repair whatever breaks. So if a water heater breaks, he picks the water heater repair company, and he gives us the amount, and then we have to split it up and pay it equally. So here's why this is a problem. This is why you should never do this. If you move into a place, you don't know how old these things are unless it's a fresh, newly constructed building for offices. And even then, when you get into a new building, even though they get it even though the building's spanking brand new, there are still leaks, there's still issues, there's still wiring problems, and then you would be liable for that. And the landlord knows that. He wants his rent money, and he wants to not have to deal with the property at all. He just wants it as a cash income business, which is understandable. It's his property, let him do whatever he wants. But the lease is insane. There was no wiggle room to anything there, and the wiggle room is for the benefit of the landlord and for the tenant, because the more comfortable we are and the more affordable it is, the longer we will stay. I mean, you're never going to be able to beat this rental rate. You're never going to beat this situation, this lease. I'm never leaving. That's that kind of thing. That's how I see it. But so because I had to tear everything apart as far as the podcast equipment, I never even got the video setup correctly because of the moving. I had a feeling, let me not set this stuff up, because I'm cutting things out and setting up backgrounds and setting up things for a property that I know I'm not going to stay in, and then I have to tear it all apart. So I'll give you guys 2 episodes, and then I have to tear everything apart, and then it'd look completely different. So I said, let me just keep the audio format going until I can get everything together. So that's the reason why it's been so long. I know I can still make podcast episodes. I've even tried making podcast episodes with the phone, and it just does not sound great. You can listen to our first episodes. Our first 2 episodes were with just an iPhone. One of them, the first episode was with the iPhone. The second episode was with an iPhone with one of those lab mics, is little lapel mics. And I've seen YouTube videos where they say, hey, you can shoot a podcast, you can shoot a YouTube video just with a lab mic on the phone, and you can make it work. But without audio editing software, without being locked in a closet to get the right sound, it just won't work. So, I mean, you guys can make it. I mean, some people can make it work. There's a person built like a box that he surrounded himself in, like a box like space in his room, and sound bounced off the boards, and it sounded okay. But you don't know if that's been messed with after recording. You know, they had some kind of production done to the audio. So I didn't want to give you guys that kind of quality of content. I don't like doing this driving content, but I watch a lot of driving content, so I'm saying why won't my viewers watch it as well? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break this down into I'm gonna make it into a little series. It's gonna be separate. It's gonna be part of the channel. It's just the hiccups of opening a new business. I mean, opening a new office space, and everything that we fumble through. So then, when, just like we say in Pet Startup 101, learn from our mistakes so you don't have to make them. And you're gonna learn how we messed up with the paint. We messed up every which way you can think of. So when you take over a space and you got a square box, you have to paint, you have to, get furniture, you have to get you have to design the layout. And I mean, we messed up in a lot of ways. My father came up from Florida, helped out. My uncle came and helped out. My sister, my wife, kids, everyone, rolled up their sleeves and got to work. And on top of that, I have lost 2 guys, not because of the company. One of them moved, and one of them got a better job teaching, so he didn't want to be on the field anymore. And I mean, we provide great schedules where people know exactly what they're getting as far as schedule for the week or for the the next few days. Nothing really changes, so they don't get any hiccups where they get random stops added to them and they're working super late. And the pay is decent. I mean, the pay is going up everywhere because it's so hard to find people that want to work. So the pay is going up, and we even offered to raise the pay, but I mean, to compete with a nice warm school with benefits and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to compete with that when, yeah, you're out in the cold, and now it's getting colder here in New York, and it's 30 degrees outside, and you have to worry about your B&G freezing. And of course, you should take it home, but a lot of people forget, and then it gets frozen. You have to stick it in the passenger seat floor and crank up that heat. So, I mean, the guys that live in the cold, they understand. So, with this series, I keep rambling on and talking about things. With this series, I'm gonna put in a separate playlist. It's gonna come out back to back, and we're gonna sprinkle in some new episodes in there as far as business and as far as technician training and all the pest control business related stuff. But we're gonna make a series on the finding an office. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna drive by all the locations, gonna give you the rates, gonna give you the lease agreements that we received. I won't give you the exact agreements, but I'll break down the top points on them and why we chose not to sign them. And then I'm gonna talk to you about calculating, being able to calculate how much you can afford. So that's always up in the air because it's based on everyone's different income. And in pest control, you can have a great month, and then the next month it's dead. And you can have a great Google ads running, Facebook ads running, and then out of nowhere, they tweak it. They make an update to the app. They make a new terms and the terms and conditions, and they rearrange how your ads affects people, and then you're getting half as many calls, or your sales guy is gone on vacation that week, is dead, and then it threw everything off. Is when people go on vacation, when they come back, they're not as motivated to work for the first few days. I'll put it that way. So yeah, so we'll talk about everything that's related. Actually driving to an inspection now. I still get on the road and I still do inspections, and I have someone actually going to the office. I'm out on the road super early. It's before 8 a.m. I mean, it's not super early. I mean, for us, this is how we get up. But unless you're one of those lucky guys that you work from 10 to 5 and you're off on weekends and you have your set amount of customers, and I mean, you're great. So, lucky bastard. So, I'm here freezing my butt off before 8 because that's what I got to do, and that's what we all have to do to make our money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this inspection done. Then I'm going to drive up to the shop/office. I call it office shop. I don't know what the hell to call this place. It's an office, and I'm gonna give you guys a walkthrough of the shop. So we're gonna go away for a few seconds, then we'll come back. I'm gonna be back in the car. We'll talk about getting this space. I'm gonna go over getting this space, and then I'm gonna give you a tour of the space. And then the next few episodes, I'm gonna show you all the other locations that I was considering, and break down each lease. So we'll go by that. We'll look at the neighborhoods. We'll look at everything. We'll drive by on a weekday because it's the beginning of the week right now. So we have the rest of the week to shoot this stuff. And I'll get footage of all the locations, put it up, break down the lease, break down the how much it would cost me really, because the lease is one rate, and then you have the other rates, which is you have the other things, which is the unforeseeable charges, the things you never think of. So when I think of lease, I don't think of internet. I forget internet. Then you're wondering, do I need a phone? Because I've never used a phone in the past. It just goes to my cell phone. All the calls get forwarded. And then you're like, hey, if I leave the office, I'm the one with the phone. What do I do? So, all right. So when we get back, I'm gonna tune back in when I'm almost at the office, right after this inspection. And then I'll give you a tour of the space, and we'll end the episode there.